In 1909, the LMYR built a new class of locomotive called the Class 28. These mixed-traffic engines first were shown to be reliable, but after many trials and many accidents, it became clear they had a very big flaw in their design. The class were known to experience difficulties, particularly a tendency to become nose-heavy or dip forward when running at higher speeds. This issue was observed when they were used for duties that required faster running, such as passenger trains or fast-paced commuters, where they were often utilized as relief engines. So, the builder of the class and chief mechanical engineer of the LMYR, George Hughes, redesigned the class by adding a front-facing pony truck and a longer boiler. Although their improvements in balance were fixed, the board saw no fit to finish all 4 of the units that were planned. As such, the 2 still early in the process were scrapped. Of the 2 who were completed, the first of the class, Winston, was sold to the Furness Railway in April of 1911. The second unit, James, was built the next month and stayed on the LMYR running fast passenger services. In 1915, the Northwestern Railway had gotten enough money to start purchasing and loaning engines from the other railways. Winston was the first engine to be loaned to Sodor and arrived in August that year. He became the heavy goods engine of the railway until Henry arrived, and even then, he still worked long-distance goods trains and a handful of commuter trains. He would eventually be purchased after the closure of the Furness in 1923, shortly after the Grouping Acts. Had then purchased Winston quietly and issued him the number 55, which was the number the Furness gave him. He received a slight rebuild that saw him gain a new tender and upgraded in pulling power. Meanwhile, James was on the LMYR the whole time, and later worked in the LMS until he was purchased by the Northwestern in 1935. James arrived and suffered a fatal accident on his first day, and would be held up at Croven's Gate for a few weeks. While there, he was repainted into a new Northwestern Red that saw red paints and blue lining, something new for their Northwestern Red. When he arrived at the shed, he met Winston, who both were in disbelief. They knew about their siblings, but had no idea that they were still alive. Winston eventually had to tell them that they were a failed experiment, and James was very sad. However, Winston did gloss over the subject of their 2 scrap siblings, and it would be many years before he would tell him. The 2 are now firm brothers and who care about each other very much and watch each other's backs constantly, a pact to honor their 2 lost siblings.